Hello and welcome to my version of cheese stuffed shells. I haven't had shells in a long time, and so I decided that I wanted to make some, and I'm sharing this with you. The recipe is fairly simple, and you can pause the video to write down the ingredients. In the picture, I have some Mrs. Dash and some Sicilian seasoning that I thought I was going to use, but I wound up not using those. But they can be used for additional seasonings. So what I did was I let the water come to a nice boil, and then I put the shells in the pot and I started cooking them while I put the shells together. So I took the ricotta cheese, the Italian blend, the Parmesan cheese, black pepper, all of those items, and blended them all together. And then I added the 2 eggs. Now, with the eggs, I put them in a separate bowl and I whipped them up first and then put them in the middle of the cheese mixture. I mixed them all together, and in this recipe I did not add any additional salt. The cheeses themselves have a salt component, and then the sauce had some salt. So I felt I would add salt as I was eating if I needed to do that. Once the shells have completed and they're nice and tender, not, really soft, I want you to drain them by paper towels. And then I just drained the shells on that. I didn't want any water in them. And then I took and with my left hand opened up the shell. And then I began to add the cheese mixture to the middle of the shell, a tablespoon, a heaping tablespoon. You decide how much cheese you want to put in each one. I was able to fill with the recipe 20 shells, and I put them on a tray. And since I wasn't going to eat them all and cook them all at the same time, I covered them with plastic wrap, and then I took that foil and wrapped the foil around them, and I put them in the freezer overnight. The one thing that I would do differently is that I would let them cool down a whole lot more. If you notice on this picture, there's a lot of icicles or frost on them. That's because I put them in the freezer warm, and so the steam, from the food came out and left that frost piece. So make sure you cool them down quite a bit before you put them in the freezer if you're going to make them and then vacuum seal them or put them in a Tupperware container. But you make sure you seal them pretty good with some plastic. Here I put 4 shells per bag in my vacuum seal containers. I took I took 3 shells and I put them in my Corningware container, and I put my tomato basil soup over it, and I put them in the microwave actually for about 15 minutes. That gave the shell time to cook, the cheese to cook, and everything get bubbly and hot. You can use your spaghetti sauce, you can use a marinara sauce, you can use a white Alfredo sauce. It's up to you what you want to put on the stuffed shells. All right, well, hopefully you'll enjoy it. I'm going to tell you they were absolutely wonderful. So make comments below if you try the recipe, and let me know how it worked for you, whether the idea of taking and dividing it up, because it's just me and my daughter, so sometimes it's just me eating whatever I cook. So putting it in sets of 4 worked for me because I eat 2 shells. In fact, the other night I took out a package from the freezer and went over to one of my friends' homes, and she made a salad, and we each had two shells, and it was the salad and the shells were perfect with one another. So hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share these videos with your friends, and I hope you join me next time for Eclectic Alchemy.